Well, I was going to say good morning. I was going to say good morning, but actually it's afternoon now. I didn't make it. Not too long ago, woke up. But I feel good. I feel good. I'm excited, and I want to say that this is the day that the Lord has made, and we shall rejoice and be glad in it. For His mercies are fresh. His mercies are new. His mercies are revived every morning. Every morning, as the dew that rests upon the grass. That's how God's mercy is there, new every day. And you might have had a bad night last night. You might have had a bad night, horrible night, nightmares and all that. Woke up, but you need to know, you need to understand that His mercy and do it forever. And God has you. He has you in the palm of His hand, and He knows what you're going through. He knows what you're dealing with, and oftentimes it seems like God is not with you when you're going through something difficult, but He's there. He's there. Oftentimes He's speaking to you. He's speaking to you, and He keep talking to you, and eventually, what will happen? God or you will get to a place where you hear His voice clearly enough, where you will be able to make the adjustments. And whatever kind of situation you're in, wisdom is to make adjustment. If something is bad, difficult, you're going in a way where you're dealing with something, just like with a boxer. And if this boxer loses to this other boxer, and so what happens when you go back to the corner, talk to a trainer, and the trainer watching and watching out and seeing the weaknesses and seeing where the other boxer is hitting him. And so, or her. And so what he does, he make an adjustment. And so next time this boxer tries to do this, he do that to counteract against what the enemy is doing. But what I wanted to talk about briefly, if I can, I want to talk about emotional blackmail. Emotional blackmail. And it's something that is used every day. Something that's taught. And actually, emotional blackmail is actually witchcraft. It's control. It's using something of value, or using something that is considered to be innocence as a toy, as a tool to manipulate, as a tool to get your way. Case in point. Okay, I'm gonna give you scripture. The Bible says in Proverbs 22:15, foolishness is bound up in the heart of a child. Foolishness, crazy stuff. But then the Bible says, but the rod of correction will drive it far from them, that foolishness, right? And so, but as a child, if that parent or those parents did not identify or did not challenge those areas in that child life, where basically that child learns how to deal with rejection, learns how to deal with disappointment in sports or whatever. And so it's that job, parent, to teach that child how to deal with things, how to react, how to respond. But now, if that parent, or if those parents did not groom or teach their child the proper way of dealing with certain things and driving that foolishness out of them kids, what was cute when they was a kid? What was cute when a kid they laugh and kikied about? But once you got older, once that child got older and become an adult, that foolishness grew up too. And that foolishness that was in them, that craziness that was in them, it grew up with them. And so now, what was cute now is defiant. It's disrespectful. It's not listening to rules and regulations because it wasn't there. Parents didn't teach them. And so now you got, so many people that are wide open because they never had no governors. They never had no one to train them or teach them to say, no, can't do that. That's wrong. But if you never had that voice as a child saying, no, you can't do that, that's wrong, then you grow up thinking, it's okay, I can do this. I can handle this. Don't mean yes. And so it's a mindset. In saying that, thinking about, well, if you think about emotions is a substitute emotion is energy, and it comes from something. Stems from something, stems from a herb, stems from something that fuels it. Because energy in itself is not a emotion, but a substitute emotion. It's a substitute. It's something that emulates. It's something that anger. It's anger that's something that emulates. It's something that mimics. It's something that mimics. And so, but when you use that emotion, to as a ploy, and when you use that emotion as a tactic to get your way, then that's not wrong. That's wrong. That's control. It is. And oftentimes, some ladies maybe not even aware of it, not even aware of what's happening. Just for an example, oftentimes some parents teach women that if you don't get your way, then do certain things, such as, like, say for example, as a child. As a child, when you tell that child no, that child runs away, or that child's act out. That child do something, cries and throw a tantrum. Basically what it is, and what it's saying, that I didn't get my way, so I'm gonna act out. I'm gonna do everything I can to get them to change their mind. That's the ploy. That's the ploy. I'm gonna act out. When you told me no, or when you told me something I didn't like, I'm gonna act out, and I'm going to do something to pull on your emotions, to pull on your parenthood, to make you feel sorry and guilty or bad, and give me my way. And this is the thing that people do. People do. They will know that this is a nice person, or this person's heart's a certain way, or they have something, or they'll know something about this person, and they're good friends. And so what they would do when this person don't give them what they want, they will act out. They will act out and become emotional. And now the emotions are there. And now the emotions are there to deflect, especially when the person is saying something, or the people are saying something that they don't like. And so to counter react that, and change the scenario, or change the conversation, they will act out, or the person, him or her, will act out in a certain way where the people will feel a certain way and change their mind. Such as crying. Tears can be a way to deflect, but also a cover. Because sometimes a person can use tears to get their way. As a child, the first thing a child will cry. And that child knows what cry will get mama to do this, what cry will get dad to do that. And so over a period of time, they done figured out which cry will cause different responses. The same thing with manipulation and a blackmail. Using your emotions when you know someone cares, or when you know someone wants to do something, or you feel a certain way about that person, but you use that feeling to take advantage of that feeling for that person or those people to do certain things for you, just because you didn't get your way. And so with emotional blackmail, it's basically using whatever you can to be a tool, using whatever you can to be some type of ploy to get people or get someone to do something against their will. And so that's what blackmail is. Blackmail is in using something and holding it over their head, just in case, if you don't do this, I'm gonna do that. If you don't do that. And so one of the things that people use, men use, is money. Especially if you in a relationship with someone, or you got a relationship with someone that has money. You have to be careful of that. Ain't nothing wrong with that, but one of the biggest problems, or one of the potential biggest problems, are getting with someone who already got money, who already established. So basically, in some cases, in their mind, when you come into a relationship, you come to a relationship with them. It's not always that y'all met together, but because their money, they think they're above you, which means that you must do what they say. You must do what they say. And if you don't do what they say, then they will hold back that money. They will hold back from giving this money to go get your nails done, or do this or do that. And so that is blackmail. That is blackmail, and that's using something as a ploy and as a tool to manipulate someone to get them to do what they really didn't want to do. But it's witchcraft. It's control. It's controlling the person. Where if they want to do certain things, you act a certain way. If they want to do that, You respond a certain way. And so what that is, it's almost like shocks. It's almost like having a gate. It's almost like having a gate around your existence. And every time you decide to do something against someone that's trying to control you, it's almost like barbed wires. Every time you try to move, they will say or do something that will shock you, or that will hurt you, or that will disappoint you. And the purpose of the shock is to keep you in certain boundaries. The shock is to keep you in your place. It's game. It's game. And the purpose of the game is to play with your emotions, especially if you know someone or someone knows someone who's been hurt of some way. Hurt certain thing. Hurt in a certain place in their heart or in their stomach or in a relationship. And anytime they want to get them to do what they want them to do, they'll use that, to remind them. To remind them of something. Especially, say for example, there's another example. Say for example, you married. You're married, right? You're married, and you had some rough times, and so now you don't work things out. You don't work things out, and so things are okay. They're getting better, but there's only one problem. Every time. Now you don't forgave her, and you don't forgave him, but every time she or every time he says something that you don't like or that you don't agree with, they will use your infidelity or they will use your past against you, trying to keep you stuck and just let you know. See, I'm basically doing you a favor by allowing you to stay, basically, by always bringing that back up. And see the thing about it, true love ain't gonna bring it up. I mean, because true love is forgiveness. True love is forgiveness. And I forgive, but I don't forget. Well, why say that? Because if you forgive them, you ain't gonna think about it. God gonna remove thought of it or the sting of it. Yeah, you might remember what they've done, but what have you done that you ain't told them about? See, that's the thing about it that we must realize and understand and be honest about. Even relationship. You might say, well, this person done this and do that. Well, what you done? It takes two. And that's something that you have to, work out together. It takes two people. There's no big I, little you. It's a partnership with anything when it comes to two people. One person ain't always right. No. And communication is not you emptying your mind and telling him or telling her how you feel and then shutting it down and not letting the other person talk. Nah, that's not communication, that's control. That's not communication. That's a personal issue. That's a mental and emotional personal issue where you don't know how to communicate. Because when you know how to communicate, then you're patient. You're patient enough to listen to the other person. And you want to talk about love. Inside of love is respect. Inside of respect is listening. Because if I respect you, I'm going to listen to you. If I love you, I'm going to listen to you. And if I love you, I'm going to bear some stuff. I'm going to sacrifice some stuff. Because in love, and just think about it, in a relationship, in love, there's always going to be some stuff that the other person say that you don't like, the other person say you don't like, or stuff like that, or do, but you have to make adjustment, and you love the person who they are. See, one of the biggest problems that people oftentimes run into is that when you meet someone, when you meet this girl, when you meet this guy, you fall in love with them, right? They cool. But then you try to change them. Now, and see, you don't realize what you're doing. You're changing them from the person that you love. You're changing them from the person that you're attracted to. Then you wonder why your heart has changed, your eyes have changed, because you did it. Because you tried to change them because you tried to control them or control her instead of accepting them from the beginning who they were. Because when you accept somebody from the beginning who they are, then they're the best quality who they are. See, because even Jesus, he looked beyond all of our faults and he saw our need. And that's the same thing when it comes to relationship, love. When you love someone, you look beyond all the faults and you see their need. You see their heart. See, because the Bible said the man looks at the outer appearance, but God, he's the one that looks at the heart. And so those are some of my thoughts for today is just that. Keep your eyes open and just love God. And just know that God is with you. And he's always there. You need to know, you need to realize that God is always there. He's just he's just a whisper. He's just a prayer. He's just a cry away. And so basically what it is that, and in closing, with motives and intentions. When you do something, Don't use it to control. Don't use it to bring fear. Don't use it to manipulate. Anything you do in life, see, because good, but even when good, if good is used with intent to hurt, to deceive, or destroy life, then it's bad. Don't let your good be even spoken of. And so it's a human thing. It's a ethical thing. It's a thing of being honest. Because you want to be blessed and you want people to treat you right. You want people to do things for you right. Then you got to do the same thing. You got to extend the same kind of courtesy. You got to extend the same kind of love. It's a two-way street. The Bible says, how can two people walk together except they be in agreement? You can't. Two people can't walk together if they're in agreement. Somebody gonna turn right, somebody gonna turn left, somebody gonna stop. But you gotta be in agreement to walk together. And that comes with listening to a person, and listening to their mind, listening to their words, and paying attention to their heart. Is it all right? God bless you.